Hi everybody, good evening one and all. So I'll wait 2 more minutes for the participants to join and then we can go ahead and start the session. Okay, thank you.
चलिए अतीसला अगर बैठा हुआ अतीसला
So, hi everybody. I hope you all had a great day. So let's go ahead and start today's session. So today we are going to see how to create a am I audible, people? Am I audible? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So today we are going to see how to create a web server both automatically and manually. So if time permits, I'll try to squeeze in the next topic also, which is ELB. So according to the time, we'll do it. So if time permits, we'll try to move ahead in the schedule a little bit. If not, this will be today's session. Yes. Yes, Avinash sir. I'll try to. So everybody understood how to create a Linux instance properly, right? So after launching the Linux instance, what is the software we'll use in order to convert our keys? Can anybody give me what is the software we are using in order to convert our key? Many people are telling it is putty, but is it really? I am asking the software to convert the key. .pem to TP key. What is the software we use? Putty Gen. Regen is the software we use. So, and what is the software we use to connect from our local Windows machine to our virtual Linux machine? Now it is putty. So can anybody give me what is the minimum storage for the root drive Linux is requiring? What is the minimum storage? 8 GB. So why 8 GB? Why 8 GB? No GUI. It is a lightweight OS and we work completely on CLI. Yes. So can anybody give me what is the security group of Linux instance, please? What is the security group of Linux instance, please? SSH 22. Okay. So what is the full form of SSH? What is the full form of SSH? Secure shell. So that is what we will do. And I have given, if you remember, I have given a little table at the end of yesterday's session, like, to be clear about the key pair formats. So now I'm going to ask those things. So can anybody tell me, in order to connect from Windows to Linux, what is the key pair format? In order to connect from Windows to Linux. Windows to Linux. Windows to Linux. PPK. So what is the full form of PPK? What is the full form of PPK? Putty private key. Okay. So now, in order to connect from a Windows system to Windows cloud machine, what is the format of the key pair? Windows to Windows. Windows to Windows. What is the format of the key pair, please? Yes, Vasanta Bhavan, it's password. It's password. Many people are getting confused between .pem and password. So when we are trying to connect from Windows to Windows, it is always password. So now tell me, to connect from a Linux machine to a Windows machine, what is the key pair format? What is the key pair format? From Linux to Windows. So I have showed you yesterday, irrespective of what the source is, irrespective of what the source is, if the destination is Windows, then the key pair format is always password. If you want, I can again draw the little table here. I can see many people getting confused. So, Windows to Windows, password. Windows to Linux, PPK. Linux to Windows, it is again password, because irrespective of what is the source here, if the destination is Windows, then it is password. So now comes, when we are trying to connect from Linux to Linux, what is the format? .pem only. So what is the full form of PEM? What is the full form of PEM? Privacy enhance mail. Privacy enhance mail. Okay. So let's now go ahead and dive into today's session, which is creating web servers. Okay. So now tell me, guys, like how we are able to see a website whenever we type a website? A very, very basic question. How we are able to see a website whenever, for example, when we type YouTube in Google, how we are able to see YouTube? If we type Facebook, how we are able to see Facebook? What is going on in the background? Yes, we type it in web browser. Yes. URL to IP conversion. Yes. Yes. To the request made by user. Okay. Ravi sir says a home page. So what is the format of a home page basically? Yes, DNS mapping. Yes. This is all when the connection is already made and it is available for the people. But how they are making it available for the people is the question here. What is the format of a homepage? Basically, what is a homepage? HTML, PHP, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap. We can write in any format. Index.html, index.php, index.css. It can be anything. Okay. So now what I'll do is I will explain all the backend. Like, first of all, we are going to launch a Linux EC2. So, and we are going to install inside this Linux EC2 a package called httpd. Okay, which is nothing but a software. Okay, a web package is nothing but a software. So this is nothing but a software. So whenever inside RC drive, if we install anything, automatically its directory is formed. Yes or no? So automatically when we install this web package, a directory will be formed. So that directory is nothing but /var /www /html. Okay, so HTML, and inside this directory we will create a file called index.html. And what is this index.html basically? A web page. Thank you, successor. Can be a login form. Okay. So, yes, a web page. Let me show you a website. Obviously, everybody knows this website. So, the minute we type IRCTC, it can be anything, Aviviz or Redviz, any website. So the moment we open this website, we can see book a ticket. And if we go here, we can see the PNR numbers, trains, buses, holidays, loyalty points. So all this is what basically? All this is what? Whatever we are seeing here. All the information that we are seeing here is called what? Web frames, web services. Okay. All the information we see inside, we call it as web content. Thank you, Satya sir. Web content. So, and where do we keep this content when you are creating a website? We have to keep this content inside a index.html file. Okay. So web content is nothing but, so how can we define web content here? Group of information in combination of web pages is called as web content. So now we'll see some of the technical terms to it. Okay. So web content, we have already seen it. So what is a web page? What is a web page? Group of web content. Yes, Sarjan. Correct. So to demonstrate it practically, so the minute I touch, maybe try. Okay, maybe flights. What happened? The minute I touch flights, what happened? Another web page got opened. Yes or no? And here also we can see some of the website content only, and where you can again go to buses or other things. So group of web content, like ma'am said, group of web content together, group of web content is called as a web page. So now can anybody tell me what is a web application? Can anybody tell me what is a web application? Yes, Sarojana. So as ma'am said, it is group of web pages is called as web application. Okay. So now let us talk about what is this web package. So what is a web package? Group of web applications, then it will be different applications, right? So basically in a web page, what happens? Everything is mapped to the home page, which is nothing but, which is hosted inside index.html or index.php, anything. So what is a web package? I already said it is a software. So why we need this software? So what is our tool here? A web application. So we need to have a software which supports this web application. Yes or no? We need to have a software which supports this particular web application. Then only we can show to the customers the content we want to show. So that software which is supporting that web application, we call it as web package. So the software which supports a particular web application, we call it as web package. So what are the different types of web packages or softwares available in the market? Some examples. We can say Tomcat, Nginx, HTTPD, all belong to Apache company. So yes. So how does a website work here? So how does a website work in total, keeping all this information together? So there are two main things that a website needs. The first one is we need to have a EC2. It requires a EC2, be it Windows or Linux. It requires a EC2. We need to have a machine. The second one is what? Inside this machine, we need to have a supporting software. And what is that supporting software? We call it as web package. So we need to have a web package. Why we need it? Why we need it? Why we need this web package? Because then only you can install an application. So what is a web application? Nothing but group of web pages. So these are some of the technical things we speak whenever we create a website. So web content is nothing but group of information in combination of web pages. So what is a web page means? Group of web content together. And what is a web application means? Group of web pages put together. And what is a web package? The supporting software we need in order to let the customers see the content inside our application, which supports our application basically. So keeping all this in mind, can anybody tell me what is a web server now? So these are the two things we need in order to create a web server. So what is a web server? Holds web pages which provides requested info used to run web applications provider. Web application software to cater the request by the server, group of web packages, storage and control of web packages. So where we are hosting our website basically? In the database server or a web server? In a web server, yes. In a web server, yes ma'am. So basically it is just a hosting. So your web server is nothing but your website, yes or no? Is nothing but your website. So whenever we install a web package into a server, that server becomes a web server. So whenever we install a web package inside a server, that particular server becomes a web server. So before installing this HTTPD software, we call it as Linux instance. We call it as Linux instance. But after installing a web package, we call it as a web server. We call it as a web server. So understood till here? So before installing, we call it as a normal EC2, but after installing the web package, we call it as a web server. So this is the theory part. So today, whatever I have explained, we'll be doing it in practicals with the help of some Linux commands. So I'll try to show you some Linux commands. So let's go ahead and jump into the practicals. And I'll give all the commands here in a very, very clear format. So don't worry for that. So let me just scroll it up. Okay, so let's jump into practicals. Let me go ahead and open my console. So as of today, you all people already know how to launch a Linux instance. I'm expecting you people to guide me a little bit here. So today morning, my admin team told that somebody is having an issue of instances running is always being one. So sometimes what happens is this particular dashboard doesn't refresh itself. So please try to refresh it once or twice. And then also if the problem persists, you can always contact the admin team. So just refresh it here, okay? So now let's go ahead and launch an instance. So can I go to launch instances? Today you people guide me. Okay, next what I have to do? AMI, yes. So I want to launch an Linux instance. So help me choose what is the instance that I have to select. Can I select this one? Amazon Linux free tier eligible. Yes. Okay. So do I need to change here anything or search for some combination? Yes, yes, sir. So going ahead with free tab. Do I need to give or change anything here? Do I need to give or change anything here? No. Because yesterday I wanted to prove you a point that I'm still under free tier eligible only when I wanted to launch 2 instances. But here, today I don't require 2 instances because one I want to make a web server manually and one automatically. So I need only one instance. So next, do I need to change anything here or can I move forward? I don't need to change anything here. So I'll go to next step. So here it is asking me to add a tag. So I'm gonna give web server. Next. So yesterday we have seen how to give an existing security group. So I'm using Linux only. So can I give this or you want me to create one? New one. Let me create a new one in order to avoid some confusion. I can go with the existing one also. So am I good to go to the next step? Yes. So review and launch. Launch. So let me give a new key pair. Download the key pair. It doesn't mean that I should not use the existing key pair because I have deleted everything yesterday. So I'm doing it again. So now that I have downloaded my key pair, I'm launching the instance. So because, okay. Because let me go ahead and see view instances. So in order to connect to my instance here, what are the two things I have to do? What is the first thing? What is the first thing I have to do? I can connect it directly or do I need anything else? First, I have to convert my key pair. Yes or no? Because I have created a new key pair. Yes, I have to convert the PPK file, PEM to PPK. So this is the putty generator. Let me go ahead. Can I load this thing or generate? Should I generate it or load it? Load it because we already have a key pair. So we will load it. So select load. Let me go to all files here. So we have my key pair here. Yes or no? So let me select this thing. Open. So successfully imported the key. So now should I save the public key or the private key? Public key or the private key? Private key because we want to have secure connections. So I have saved my private key. So with this, the role of putty generator is done. So I'm closing this thing. So let me refresh this once. So still the status check is in initializing part only. It is waiting there. So before it initializes, let me search for putty. So this is the putty. Let me refresh the page. So now that the status checks are passed, can I select this thing in order to connect with this particular instance? Yes, so select this and I can either go here or go here. So, okay. So then what I should do? Okay, yesterday I have told you to give the whole thing, right? So today what I'll do is, I'll just take it from here after the @ part. Okay, I'm just taking after the @ part. So let me copy it. And I want to give it here in putty. And then because we are SSH clients, I'm going here giving the authentication for the key, browse the key. So this is the key we have converted. So select the key, open it, open. So accept. So it is asking what? It is asking what? So it is asking for the user ID, because yesterday we have given user ID and the DNS together. But today I have given only the DNS. So it is asking, how do you want me to log in as? So what is my username? Basically, EC2 user is my username. I have told you yesterday that at the rate before part is your username and at the rate after part is your DNS. So let me give EC2 user here. User and enter it. So now I have successfully connected to my Linux instance. Yes or no? So moving on further, every day we'll be connecting to a Linux machine in the same format only, but hardly it is a 2 to 3 minutes job. So now let's talk about Linux commands. So now whenever you install any software, let's say you have your laptop, if you want to install any software, did you ever observe whenever you download the software, it will ask one permission. You need to be which user? You need to be which user? Root user or an admin user in Windows language who can perform anything. So for office laptop, you find it more often, Now the same type of privileges, the full power privileges, the username in Linux. So what do we call it as? Root user. So currently we have logged into our Linux machine as which users? Which users? EC2 user. Yes or no? So we have logged into our machine as an EC2 user. Now we want to install some new software. So first we need to convert from EC2 user to root user. Then only we'll get full permissions. Otherwise, we cannot install a new software. So what is the first thing to convert from EC2 user to root user? And how we can do that? For that, we have to type a command called yes, Mohendra, sir. So the first command today we learn is sudo sup, which is basically super user do switch user. So which gives us root privilege. So sudo sup. So there is no logic, a bigger logic behind these commands. Okay. So this is how it is done. Sudo sup, enter. So what you can observe here? What happened? Username is changed or no? Username has been changed from EC2 user to root user. Yes? Yes. So now, okay. So did you observe sometimes you will switch on your laptop or desktop, sometimes it will load immediately and sometimes it doesn't. So you will be seeing something like installing updates. So have you seen that? Like 10 by 30, 11 by 30, 12 by 30, and it takes 5 minutes. Yes or no? 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it will show the time also, and it tells us do not turn off your computer and all. So why do you think this happens? Like, did you ask to install something in your laptop? Did you ask your laptop to install something? No, right? But automatically the updates will be happening. So what do you think is happening? Why auto updates are there? Basically, so actually the concept here is, yeah, one is security. So the Windows OS, like this Microsoft company, when they designed this OS, what they have done, whenever your laptop is having, internet connection, if there are any new updates to the OS, what it will do, it will download and keep inside it. But when it will install, for installing anything, you need to restart, then only this effect will change. We'll see something like that, yes or no? So similarly, it has to restart the machine or shut down and start the machine. So somehow we are in the middle of the work, we can't do it, right? So what it, like me, for example, if you take me, if I'll be working on the screen, I'm not shutting it down regularly. So we'll just keep it in the sleep mode, go back to sleep, come back again to the work and open it back and work again. So what this Microsoft people do, like it's okay, you can continue whenever you can continue to work and all, but whenever you start the machine next time, automatically it will be installed at that time. So they made it such a way, so that updates will be automatic. So here the concept is updates are installed automatically. So whereas in Linux, you need to update it manually. So what is the command to update your OS manually? Because before installing any software, we need to make sure that our system is up to date. Yes or no? So the command to update your OS is yum update y. Yum update y. For updating OS. Yum update y. And here yum is package manager. So M being the package manager and Y means we are telling yes to update. So yum update Y is the command to update our OS manually. So let us go ahead and fire that command. Yum update Y. So let it update. So now, what does it say? We have updated our system. So now what is the software I said we need to install? What is the software? So we can see the complete message here. So what is the software? Just a minute. Okay. We need to HTTPD. Thank you, sir. So in order to install the software HTTPD, the command is yum install HTTPD y. Installing a web package. So yum install HTTPD y. Yum install HTTPD y. So let us go ahead and fire the command. So what is the command to clear the board? Like to clear the terminal? I can do Control L or we can type clear also. So just to, So yeah, now yes, now let us type yum install HTTPD y. So we can see HTTPD is being installed, and yes, it has been downloaded. So if we install anything, it will be in the C drive, right? So when we install HTTPD software, what is the directory that gets created automatically? The directory that is formed along with it is /var /www /html. We can use anything we want, but I'm trying to show you which is free of cost. So if you want to install some other web package, just check with AWS whether it is offering it for free or not, and then you can install it. So this is the directory that forms automatically. So, and in Linux, what is C drive? We denote it with what? With the /. So, which is nothing but our root drive. So, yes. Thank you, Patnaik sir. So, what is the command to go inside the directory? So the fourth command here is cd. Thank you, sir. So cd space /var /www /html. So cd is nothing but change directory. So directory is nothing but a folder. So everybody knows it. So currently what folder I am into? You can see here what folder I am into. I am in EC2 user folder. But we need to go into HTML folder. So let us go ahead and fire the command, and the moment we fire the command, we will be changed it to HTML folder. So what is the command? cd space /var /world wide web /html. So you can see that we have been changed from EC2 user to HTML. Yes. Yes. So now the directory is changed. So suddenly you have opened a Linux machine and you don't know which directory you are in. So what you will do to know which directory we are in, simply we'll type pwd. Yes, sir. So pwd. And you can see here, we are into the correct directory, the present working directory. So now to cross check any files are there in this directory, what is the command? To check if there are any files in this particular directory, ls. So are there any files here currently? No. So if we have to show to our customers, the website, what is the main file we need to create in this folder? What is the home page? We need to create index.html. So yes, index.html. So somehow this job is not our, basically AWS Cloud Engineer's job. Somehow it is not Cloud Engineer's job. So this is the job of a website developer, because AWS Cloud Engineers are expected to connect it, but not to decode it. So our job is not to develop HTML or PHP. There are some separate people, so like website developers. So they will give this. So we will take this and place this in this particular folder. So in this particular folder, we'll take it from the website developers and we'll put inside it. So now as we don't have any developers, we will only create a small file, and small web content inside it. Okay. So first we have to create a file called index.html. In this, what we'll keep, that will be our web content. So the command to create a file and automatically keep the content inside a file, we call it as echo, two double quotations, like there is web content inside it, greater than index.html. Okay. So echo is why we write echo, because echo is nothing but a resound. So if we type echo SSV, it will print SSV, the same thing. So why we use this greater than symbol is it will create this file. It will create this particular file. Will create this particular file and saves the given content inside this particular file. So inside this quotation. So that is why we give this command. That is why we use this greater than symbol basically. So let's go ahead and give this command, fire this command with a little web content inside it. So echo, two double quotations. So close it, greater than symbol, space. So please be aware of all the spaces and all, the little dots also. So index.html we have to give. So echo space, two double quotations, whatever we want to write inside it, greater than space index.html. So enter. So now let us check if there are any files have been created or not. So let me give back ls here. Can we see a file is being created or no? Yes. Yes. So if anytime we get a doubt like what is the content is there inside this particular file, what is the command to print the content inside the file? Cat and the file name. So index.html. So we can see our today's content, like today is Thursday. So whatever the file name we give after the cat, it will give the content inside that particular file. So now we have installed our software. So we have created our folder and kept inside our web content. Now what we need to do, we need to start our web package. So what is the command to start our web package? service HTTPD start. Service HTTPD start. So let us go ahead and fire the command here. Okay, let me share back because my screen is being freezed for some reason. So if the same problem pertains, don't worry. We can just close the session and open it back. It is not working. Okay. So, okay, let me close the session and restart it back. There's something happened to the system. So let's fire the command service HTTPD start. So now that we have given service HTTPD start, so now the software is running. So now this is not mandatory, but I want you to know, okay? So every day, what did we say after we practice? We terminate it or we stop it, right? Yes or no? So let's say today we have installed a web package and I said we will work it on tomorrow or something like that. So will we stop it or will we terminate it? So will we stop it or will we terminate it? No, I just said we will work it on tomorrow. So obviously if there is tomorrow's work and we have 720 hours for free. So we'll just stop the thing. Yes or no? So tomorrow morning, like how we'll know if the software is running position or paused position? We don't know, right? Because I want my software to automatically run according to the machine on and off. if my machine is in stop position, I want my software to stop. And when my machine is restarting back, I want my software to start back again. So for that, I need to fire a command called chk config httpd on. Check config httpd on. So check configuration which software httpd. Okay. So these are the final 7 commands. Okay, so all the extra pwd, clear, cat, ls, these are all the commands that we already know. So that's it, guys. These are the Linux commands. So now this is not a Linux server, like, so let us go ahead and fire this command also, the last command. Check config httpd on. So that's it. So now this server is not a Linux server. So it is a web server right now. Let's go ahead and check whether it is happening or not. So let me copy this public DNS. We can give anything we want, IP or DNS. So I have good internet. But why our web server is not working? What it is telling is, it is showing us an error. Like I have good connection, so connection is not the problem. What is the second point? Checking the proxy and the firewall. So what is the proxy we have at EC2 instance level? What is the proxy we have at the EC2 instance level? Which is nothing but security groups. It is talking about security groups. So we have given an SSH port, which helps us to enter into the port. But we need to open another port in order to access it publicly. What is the port that we have to give? Thank you, Patnaik sir. HTTP. HTTP. So HTTP is the port that we have to open, which is 80 port, in order to access it. So where we can change this thing? So where we can edit our security groups, I have already showed you yesterday. Go here to the security, click on the hyperlink we see. Click on the hyperlink we see, and then edit inbound rules. So in here, we have to add a rule, HTTP, and we want to give for everybody in this world. So anywhere IPv4. So save rules. So now let's go ahead and check our website whether it is working or not. So is it working? Is our website is working? Yes. So, but it is telling us not secure. Why? We already know why it is not secure. If we open Facebook or Instagram, it doesn't say it is not secure, right? Why? What is the difference for them and for our website here? HTTP, yes. So this little s for security, yes, in order to not to compromise our credentials or our website things, we use HTTP S port, but right now we are not using it because it requires money, and we are going to delete our website within a few minutes. So there is no concern for a security layer here for some SSL protocol or something like that. So this is how we create our instances. I mean, we create our web servers manually. But do you think when we are working in a company, like for example, we'll have only a single web server or we'll have multiple web servers? We have multiple web servers. So for example, if my manager comes and asks me, SSV, can you please launch some 200 developing machines or some 200 testing machines? We want to test something. So do you think for each web server, we'll go ahead and manually type in all these commands and manually make it a web server? It is time consuming, right? So there should be a simple way, simple and easy, tricky way. Yes or no? So what we'll do here? So in order to do that, we are gonna make a web server without even bothering about connecting with putty or puttigen. But while launching the instance itself, we'll create an automatic web server. So for that, we are gonna use an option. So maximum times. So whenever we are launching an instance, and if anybody says, if any cloud engineer says, can we do it while launching also? Maximum 95%, it is an S, and 95% it will be from the third step only, because that is the only step which we got lot many options. Yes or no? In every other step, it is only adding a tag, giving a storage, giving a security group, a single ones. So maximum, it will be from the third step in the instance configuration only. So if we come to the third step and scroll down, you can see an user data here. Yes, can you see this thing? Yes. So in order to fire or make a instance automatically without, without wasting any time. So I will use another command on top of these commands. I will use another command which is called as hashtag exclamatory backslash in front slash win bash. So this is the extra command that we are going to use. So then what we'll do, we'll simply copy all these commands into the user data box. So let me show you. I have a folder like that in my laptop. So let me open my folder so that we don't need to. So if you can see here, so this is the command that we are going to use extra. And these are all the commands that we have just seen in detail. Why we use them, how we use them, what is the purpose of it and all. So I'm just going to simply copy all these commands and paste it here in the user data box. So once you do this thing, please verify for any mistakes in the commands. So why we do that? So we know that the CLI we work on is called as terminal, right? Yes or no? The CLI we work on is called as terminal. This black screen is called as terminal. But what is the technical name of the terminal? What is the technical name of the terminal? We call it as bash shell. Thank you, sir. We call it as bash shell. Yes. So what are the commands that we are entering? What are all these commands? These are Linux commands, yes or no? These are all Linux commands. So what are we doing now? We are asking AWS to convert itself into a terminal, because here it is in text format, but we want to trigger Linux commands. So that is the reason why we are asking AWS to convert itself into a terminal, so that Linux commands can be fired. So that is why we use a command called bin bash command. Understand? Clear? Is there any? Yes. Okay. So next we go on and add storage. We can click on web server 2. So now that we already understood the concept, we can directly give SSH and HTTP port here. So we are directly giving the 2 ports. We don't need to go ahead and change the security group. So review and launch. So we can go ahead with the existing key pair also. So launch instances. So now tell me, I just have a question here. For this web server, we have practically connected with puttygen, converted the key and connected with putty. Yes or no? For the second web server, do we need to connect it with putty or no? For the second web server, do we need to connect it with putty or no? Some people think yes, some people think no. It is like 50-50, I think. Yes, need to connect. Somebody says it is not at all needed. So let it come alive and I'll show you. Let the status checks pass and we'll see whether we need to connect it with putty or no for the second web server. So I'm just refreshing the page. It is still initializing. Just give it a minute. It will. So half of the participants are into like we should connect it, and half people think it is not needed. So okay, let it come alive. It is not coming alive. Okay, now the 2 status checks are passed. Let's go ahead and see whether we need to connect with putty or no. So for that, just let us copy either IP address or a DNS. We can copy anything we want. Is it working or not? So no matter how many times I refresh, I can access my website or not? Yes. So here, this is today's Thursday is my first web server. And the second one is my auto web server. So this is the reason why we gave bin bash commands in the third step, because we don't require to convert any keys here. We are not required to connect with putty and all and manually type in all the commands. So that is not at all a request here. So this is how we create a web server both automatically and manually. So I will give you all the commands here in the chat box. So I'm giving here in the chat box all the commands. So I have given a file which is the combination of both the things. Did everybody received it? Did everybody received it? No? Please check in the chat box. Maybe it is taking a little bit time. So somebody is telling yes and some people are telling no. So what is happening basically? So everybody received it or no? Some people are telling yes, some people are telling no. Okay, let me give it again. So I'm sending it for the second time also. Maybe because in the text in the chat box, because everybody is typing in, maybe the message is going above. Thank you, Sandesh, sir. Thank you, everybody. So share on WhatsApp group. Okay, I'll try to, I'll tell admin team to forward this particular file on your Telegram or WhatsApp group, whatever the group is there. So in today's class, what did we learn? We launched a Linux EC2, inside which we have launched a web package basically. And inside that web package, inside a particular directory, we created an index.html because we have got no developers here. So a web content is nothing but group of information of a particular website. And then what is a web page? Group of web content together. So then we have given web application, group of web pages, and web package is nothing but the software which supports your web application so that everybody can access your website. So the two things we need in order to create a website are EC2 and web package, and a web server is nothing but a website. So before installing the web package, we call it as EC2 instance, and after installing the web package, we call it as a web server. So please try to practice whatever I have shown in today's session, and please fill in your feedback forms. Kindly fill in your feedback forms, because without filling your feedback forms to get a certification, it plays a crucial role. So already admin team has given in the chat box the feedback form. So please try to fill in your feedback forms regularly. So that is for today's session. So I hope everybody understood all the concepts, and there is no clumsiness in the concept today. So thank you everybody for your session. If you have anything to ask me, you can ask me. Otherwise, you're free to leave the session. So thank you everybody. Thank you so much. Feedback form link, already the admin team has given it here in the chat box. So I'll try to give it back to you. So if anybody have the feedback form link, I would really appreciate if you paste it in the chat box. Yeah. So yes, I am giving it here again, guys. So yeah. Thank you so much, Selvan sir, Praveen sir, Saroja ma'am, and everybody, Gautami ma'am. So don't worry, Avinash sir, tomorrow again we'll be launching 2 web servers, but I will be doing it both automatically only, because for tomorrow's concept, we need 2 web servers, because in a minute, this call is going to cut automatically. So while explaining, it may be half and half. So tomorrow I'll show it to you clearly where you can configure the security group. Okay. That's not a worry. Yes. Thank you, sir. So thank you, everybody. Let us meet tomorrow evening. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you so much. Suspending of AWS account can be of various reasons, because of the credit card or the debit card which is not having international transactions. It can happen by giving a wrong password multiple times. It can happen if your registration is not validated. Also, it can happen. So there are many reasons for it, Murthy sir. So they will clearly send you a mail why it has been suspended. So do not worry if it is suspended. Close your account and create a new account. Otherwise, if you want to retrieve the same account back, you can write a mail to AWS customer support team. They'll respond you back immediately, stating that why it got suspended or and all. They'll give an explanation to you. So if it is it can be retrieved, they will retrieve it back. Otherwise, we can create another account. Okay. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great evening, and meet you all tomorrow evening.